During a traffic jam, Emil and his father, Fran, engage in a heated argument because Emil didn't want to come, resulting in their lateness. Emil grows tired of his father's scolding and exits the car, prompting Fran to follow. Suddenly, they notice an ambulance shaking violently, with something screaming inside before the windows shatter. Fran swiftly pulls Emil into hiding as a creature, part bird and part man, emerges from the ambulance and lands on a nearby car. Security officers rush to apprehend the mutant, who fights back and frightens everyone on the road. Eventually, the mutant escapes, leaving chaos in its wake. Later, Emil and Fran arrive at the hospital to see a doctor treating Emil's mother, Elle, who is also undergoing a transformation into an animal. Over the past 2 years, numerous people across the country have been mutating into animal-like forms, often becoming violent. Authorities are attempting to capture them and confine them in specialized facilities where they are sedated and studied in hopes of finding a cure. Despite the fear surrounding the mutants, Fran insists on supporting Elle, even though Emil is wary after being accidentally scratched by her. The doctor recommends transferring Elle to a more advanced reception center in the south, which Fran agrees to, eager to start a new life away from judgmental people who knew Elle before. Weeks later, Emil, Fran, and their dog move to their new home by the forest. Soon, Emil begins attending school, and when the teacher introduces him to the class, now bombards him with numerous questions. Feeling overwhelmed, Emil decides to fabricate a story, claiming that his mother has passed away and attributing his scar to a lightning strike. Later that night, a powerful storm hits the town, causing a blackout. Emil is awakened by the noise of the wind and lightning. As he checks the window, he catches sight of a creature peering into the house. However, when the power is restored by Fran, the creature vanishes. The following day, they receive an emergency call and rush to the local lake, where authorities have cordoned off the area. It emerges that the storm caused an ambulance transporting mutants to the new center to veer off the road and crash into the lake. As they witness a police officer retrieving the body of a mutant, Fran fears the worst. The crash resulted in the deaths of half the mutants, while others have escaped. In a state of desperation, Fran struggles against the officers, calling out for his wife, Elle. However, Officer Julia assures him that Elle's body hasn't been found, suggesting she might be somewhere in the forest. Upon returning home, Fran hangs some of their clothes on trees around the house, hoping the scent will help guide Elle back to them. The following day during class, the gym teacher instructs the students to play tug of war. Emil's entire team collapses to the ground, except for him. Surprisingly, he manages to pull alone long enough for his teammates to rejoin him and win the match. Impressed by Emil's strength, everyone invites him to a party. However, Emil is preoccupied with inspecting his fingers and hurriedly returns home. Using tweezers, he extracts something from under his nails, screaming in pain when he discovers small claws, indicating he's slowly starting to mutate. Checking his back in the mirror, he notices his spine's shape changing. Furious, he throws things around the bathroom before getting into the tub to wash away his frustration. His dog joins him in the tub to provide comfort. Meanwhile, Fran goes to the mail and encounters Julia, who informs him that the search has been called off as the government promised to send the military. Suddenly, they hear screaming from the customers who have spotted a mutant. Julia orders her team to evacuate everyone, but Fran searches for the mutant, hoping it's Lana. However, the creature turns out to be a squid mutant, only seeking fish to eat. Upon realizing she's been spotted, she throws a box of shrimp before fleeing. Julia gives chase, dodging the food being thrown at her. Despite the distraction, she manages to capture the mutant. Fran discovers another mutant hiding under a grocery display but chooses not to inform the authorities. Later, Emil catches a fish in the lake with his own hands, which is witnessed by a neighbor. He then searches for the birdman, who is attempting to fly but keeps falling. Emil leaves the fish for him and learns his name is Fix, as he can't remember his real name. Seeing Fix's wounds from his failed attempts, Emil suggests a safer spot to practice and takes him to the lake, clearing away branches to prevent further injuries. In the evening, Emil tries to ride his bike home but keeps falling, so he leaves it in the forest and plans to tell his dad it was stolen. Meanwhile, at the bar where Fran works, he discovers the owner has made anti-mutant t-shirts, making him uncomfortable. While taking out the trash, he's grabbed by a mutant in chains, who he tries to calm down. Another mutant escapes, causing chaos in the bar. Fran rushes to the forest and finds his wife Elle in her full bear form. During lunch at school, Emil spits out a tooth, roasting out his classmates. He pretends it was a baby tooth. In the afternoon, he visits Fix, who continues to fall into the water while attempting to learn to fly. Emil removes Fix's bandage, revealing a poorly done surgery to remove his growing beak. In the evening, Julia accompanies Fran to the forest to help him search for Elle. They must hide whenever they see a police car pass by. Despite their efforts, they don't find any creatures, but Fran is shocked to discover Emil's bicycle when he returns home. Fran also finds the bathroom sink clogged and removes the pipe, finding lots of hair and some claws, which finally makes him realize that Emil is also changing. When Emil comes home, Fran shows him the claws from the bike, but Emil denies everything. Fran locks up the house and refuses to let Emil in until he confesses. Desperate, Emil tries to run away, but Fran tackles him to the ground, hugging him tightly as he has a breakdown. The next morning, Emil eats directly from his plate instead of using a fork, but Fran remains supportive. He shares some of Elle's medicine with Emil to help him control his impulses during class. Fran also checks Emil's mouth and confirms that the fangs are at the back for now, so others won't see them. He reminds Emil to cut his nails every day and puts cotton in his ears before covering them, with hair to help with his enhanced hearing. Finally, Fran shows Emil how to use a hair removal cream on his body. Later that day, Emil chats with Nina on the phone. While taking a walk outside the house, Emil asks Nina to scream, and he's delighted to discover he can hear her from a distance. The next day, Emil visits Fix and finds out that Fix can't talk anymore. He can only make bird sounds. After Emil hugs him, Fix climbs a tree and jumps, revealing he's finally able to fly and greatly enjoys it. Afterward, Emil goes to the festival where his father is working. Fran is furious to see him, as Emil should be hiding. An argument ensues, escalating into physical aggression. Emil growls and bites his dad on the shoulder, not letting go until Fran threatens him with scissors. Upset and confused, Emil walks away and runs into Nina, who invites him to take a walk through the cornfields. The teens end up kissing and things quickly escalate. They lie down, and when Emil removes his shirt, Nina discovers the hair and changed spine, but she says she already knew and continues. They return to the festival, and Emil goes to the bathroom, where he's cornered by a classmate who saw him and Nina in the field. The classmate makes a noise with a little machine that only animals are supposed to hear, which immediately hurts Emil's ears. Terrified, Emil attacks the boy, leaving scratch marks on his face, then flees to hide in the field. The boy alerts the locals, who grab their weapons and call the police. A dog finds Emil, but he scares it away with a bark. Two men open fire in his direction, causing an alarm to sound. Emil runs as fast as he can, chased by a group of people. As a man is about to shoot him, Fix flies in and kills the man with his claws and flies into the forest for Emil to follow. A police car also chases them, and Emil crosses the lake to escape, but the men open fire, tragically hitting Fix. Emil rushes to his friend's side and cries as Fix dies in his arms. Minutes later, Fran and the hunters find Fix's body, but no sign of Emil. In town, a large mutant sneaks around as army trucks head to the forest. The next day, Emil stays hidden, eating fruit he can find. In the evening, he climbs a tree and joins the chorus of nocturnal creatures with his own howling. During a storm the following night, Emil hides in a cave and encounters a bear, who turns out to be his mother. They acknowledge their love for each other by bumping their foreheads together before Elle leaves, wanting her son to follow. Emil discovers many mutants living together in harmony, including the chameleon girl. As flares shot through the sky indicate the army has found them, Emil and the other mutants try to run and hide, but soldiers use a painful sound to incapacitate them. Only the chameleon girl escapes using camouflage. At the police station, Fran helps Emil declare he was drunk and ended up in the forest by mistake. When Emil struggles to sign the release papers, Fran knocks out the officer and seals the document himself. They leave town with police chasing them. Fran promises Emil he won't go to any institution and drives as fast as possible, breaking through a fence to reach the forest. He tells Emil to run, and Emil howls in happiness as he does so. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.